if the world doubts you, Soo Kai and Tan Songyun's chemistry that breaks the internet.
Welcome to LVT-SHOWBIZ, where we turn great performance into unforgettable journeys.
If you're tired of cookie-cutter romances and want the inside story, the flicker behind the gaze, the tremor under a line reading, stay close. Today we spotlight the electric pairing of Soo Kai and Tan Songyun. Our promise, a gripping 9-minute deep dive that blends critique, analysis, and narrative heat. We'll begin with a punchy hook, then build momentum so you can feel the heartbeat of these characters minute by minute, because the first moments decide whether viewers keep watching or click away. Picture this, a sun-washed street, the hum of a city, and two souls thrown into the same beam of light. Tan Songyun's heroine arrives with a gaze that's both steady and breakable, like a blossom daring the late winter cold. Soo Kai's hero enters not like a savior, but a still point in a spinning world, calm shoulders, unforced warmth. Their eye contact is not fireworks, it's oxygen. You don't need exposition to know something irreversible has begun. This is why composition matters. Close-ups don't just show faces, they magnify choices. Angles don't just frame bodies, they tilt power. When his glance lifts a fraction, it's a vow. When hers wavers, it's a test. Some actors speak lines, others translate pulse into story. Tan Songyun refuses the tired trope of the porcelain lead. Her stillness holds tensile strength, her softness is an active choice, not a default. Soo Kai builds a hero from sincerity rather than swagger. He lets vulnerability sit unhidden on the breath before he answers. Together, they practice micromovements, half smiles, withholding blinks, that trick your nervous system into leaning in. There's neuroscience to this. When stories trigger genuine emotion, we invest. We suspend judgment and surrender to the ride. That physiological shift is why their scenes linger like after rain on warm pavement. Authentic romance isn't a parade of perfect scenes, it's the place where scratches become signatures. Misunderstandings slice, value clashes grind, silence grows like frost on a window. But the point isn't to dodge the storm, it's to walk into it together and come out with a language only the two of you speak. Notice how their conflicts breathe. The dialogue lands, then space. A pause that lets meaning ripen before the next line. That rhythm keeps viewers hooked because tension, released too fast, feels cheap. Held just long enough, it becomes addictive. Good videos do the same. Build, interrupt, escalate, reward. A romance lives or dies by its orbit. The second female lead here is not a foil to be defeated. She's a mirror that reveals the heroine's blind spots. Ambition versus tenderness, pride versus risk. The second male lead doesn't just stir the pot, he grounds the stakes with restraint and the courage to want without entitlement. Their presence prevents the story from collapsing into a two-person echo chamber. For you, the viewer, that means variety in tone and texture, pattern shifts that keep your attention from drifting. In videocraft, these are interrupts, new beats that reset the brain's curiosity without derailing the core arc. Forget sky-written promises, it's the tiny, almost missed moments that detonate inside the chest. A hand that almost touches, but doesn't. An apology that arrives late, and means more. A smile that fails, then tries again. These microbeats are the starlight of the story, faint until your eyes adjust, then impossible to unsee. For storytellers, the lesson is universal. Lead with an emotional hook, then thread the script with intimate specifics. Hooks grab attention, specifics keep it. Play with openings that ask a charged question or reframe the promise in a way that makes viewers feel personally addressed before the plot even moves. What elevates this couple is not grand rescue but mundane bravery, showing up when it's inconvenient, listening when it's easier to win, choosing to stay when leaving would be tidier. The hero's steadiness is not inertia, it's a daily act. The heroine's tenderness isn't naivete, it's strategy, a refusal to let the world dictate the size of her heart. Audiences don't just watch this, they practice it in their own lives. That's why retention spikes when you promise a payoff and then deliver a turn that feels inevitable in hindsight. The viewer sees a map for their own next brave step.
Clasp. The best scenes feel like deja vu you can place.
You recognize the ache of pride fighting apology, you remember the relief of being chosen on your worst day. That recognition changes behavior. Researchers and storytellers agree. Narratives rewire what we believe is possible, which is why they persuade better than raw facts. Use it wisely. As a viewer, let it work on you. As a creator, structure your sequence so each beat shifts belief a degree. Situation, complication, resolution. Old school, yes, but still lethal when the resolution reveals not perfection, but a better question to live with. Starlight is a metaphor here, but it's also a technique. Illuminate with restraint. Let emotion glow from the edges before you center it. Watch Soo-kai hold a line in his throat half a second longer than comfort allows. See Tan Songyun stabilize her breath to keep a tear from falling. These aren't flourishes, they're narrative instruments. In visual terms, vary the shot sizes of your attention. Step back to show the world pressing in, then punch into an extreme close-up where a single eyelid tremor feels like a confession. That contrast sculpts feeling without a single extra word. Some pairs generate heat, this duo generates weather. Soo-kai plays sincerity like a bass line, steady, resonant, unavoidable. Tan Songyun threads steel through silk, you underestimate her at your peril. Their chemistry persuades your body first and your brain second, which is why clips circulate without context and still hit. If we were titling this episode as a news entertainment feature, we'd lean into curiosity and desire, not keywords. Make the promise vivid, raise a question only watching can answer, and let the headline throb with stakes. That's how stories travel. This isn't a neat fantasy tied with a bow. It's a dare. Cherish the person who stands with you when the timeline turns on you.
Tret Cleverness vor Kehr. Sense text first.
The narrative's greatest service is to renormalize perseverance over spectacle. As a viewing experience, it rewards patience. As a life practice, it rewards courage. Design your own days like a great video, hook your morning with intention, interrupt your ruts with pattern shifts, and land each night with the promise that tomorrow's episode will pay off the setup you're writing today. You've been watching LVT-SHOWBIZ. If this exploration of Soo-kai and Tan Songyun moved you, if it helped you feel what makes their performances remarkable, tell us which moment tattooed itself on your memory. Your reflections deepen the conversation and help others see new angles. This commentary is transformative, analysis, critique, and original narrative provided for educational and entertainment purposes under fair use. Subscribe to LVT-SHOWBIZ for more long-form breakdowns that treat performances with the seriousness and the joy they deserve. Drop a comment about the scene that made you believe again, and share this video with a friend who needs a little starlight tonight.